Om. Namaste. Welcome you all for the fifth module of Bhagavad Gita as condensed by Bhagavan Ramana. Bhagavan Ramana has chosen some very particular shlokas which form the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And in that, he has started with what is Kshetra Kshetrajna, as said by Lord Krishna. And in the once after this definition, he chooses the very next shloka in the Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. That we are going to look at in this module. So very next shloka he chooses is the following very important, very significant shloka. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarvakshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yattadjnanam matam mama. Shri Krishna is addressing Arjuna. In the beginning itself he said that this body-mind complex is the kshetra and the knowing principle or the consciousness is kshetrajna. Now he extends that concept by saying, O Arjuna, O Bharata, Kshetrajnam cha api mam viddhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. Arjuna, in all the kshetras, which means whatever bodies or individuals are there, in all the kshetras, I am the kshetrajna. When he says I am the kshetrajna, here we should not imagine that it is the Krishna with the flute and the peacock feather, but it means the consciousness or the Brahma. And he says this gnanam, that is the knowledge of kshetra and kshetrajna, is the true knowledge, and that is what I deem to be the perfect knowledge. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. So here we should see that whatever, there are many kshetras. First at the individual, whether it is an Indian or any foreigner, whatever. In all these kshetras, who is the kshetrajna, the knowing principle? That is Krishna, or the consciousness, or Brahma. And what are the characteristics of these kshetras? We should know that it is not just limited to humans, because the main characteristics of the kshetra is that kshetra is made up of panchamahabhutas, made up of matter. Then all these kshetras are amenable to the sense organs. Number 3, all these are subjected to, that is, kshetras are subjected to change. So, first one is they are all bhautika, made up of matter. Second one, they are all indriya gocharam. Third one is savikara, they are subject to change. So, all such things is kshetra. And the principle behind this, the driving principle, the principle with which manifestation is possible, that knowing principle or the subject is Krishna himself, or the consciousness, or Brahma. So, in general, anything that has name and form is kshetra. So, it includes everything, all the animals, plants, whatever is created, whatever you can perceive is kshetra. And the principle behind that is kshetrajna. The knower of kshetra is kshetrajna. Now the question is, are there as many kshetrajnas as there are kshetras? The answer is clearly no, because Krishna very clearly says, I alone am there. So that knowing principle or consciousness or Brahma is the same. At the individual level, Vesti level, this consciousness is called Jivatma. So at the individual level. So this number of Atmas are not many, it is only one. At the individual level, it is called Atma. Not only that, the whole creation, not that at the individual level, at the samasti level, that is, if you consider the whole creation of galaxies and the whole entire universe, there is also a principle operating behind that. Because of that only this grand manifestation is possible. And that is also is Krishna himself. In other words, that is also is that knowing principle. The principle behind that is also consciousness, even at the samasti level, all inclusive. So in this creation only all individuals are also there. So at the Vesti level it is called Jivatma, and at the samasti level it is called Paramatma. Now what is to be clearly understood from this shloka is that in all this, at the individual level, Vesti level, what we may call as Jivatma is also Lord Krishna himself. At the samasti level, what we call as Paramatma is also Krishna himself. So everywhere it is only Krishna, which means all that is there is this consciousness or Brahma. So this shloka also indicates Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikya. Jivatma and Paramatma are one and the same. It's all made up of this consciousness or Brahma. So that is the essence of this beautiful shloka. In fact, Bhagavan Ramana manifested this in and through all his teachings. His advice to anyone was simply flowing from this realization that he had. So to quote one example, Miss Mod A Pigot, she is supposed to be the first European woman to become an ardent devotee of Bhagavan Ramana. And when she was leaving the Ramanashram, during that farewell, she came to Bhagavan Ramana to bid farewell and asked him, Bhagavan, what is the relation of body to I? I here means self. Bhagavan Ramana always, his suggestion was always inquire, who am I? Find out the self. So, Ms. Pigot asked him about the relation between this body and I. What is this? In other words, body, kshetra, and I, the kshetrajna, how are they related? Bhagavan Ramana smiled and answered that you came up from the bungalow this morning in a cart. Yet you do not say the cart came. You say, I came up. He continued, you did not make the mistake of identifying yourself with the cart. In the same way, look upon your body as you do the cart. So there is the body is same as that cart. Treat it well, and it will be a good servant and instrument. Very important. If this body is treated as a cart, well, it is good. As long as body means body-mind complex, as long as it is a servant, it is good. As a master, mind can be bad. That's what he meant. He continued and said, but do not be deceived into thinking it is I, which means do not misidentify this body mind complex to be I or the self. So this brings out, so this is a beautiful simile that he gave, that you look at this body as you look at the cart in which you travel. So this is what Bhagavan Ramana conveys through this, and there is a beautiful shloka in Srimad Bhagavad Gita which is very, very significant. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya. Shri Krishnarpanamattu Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.